the district commander of Berekum, also the district commander of the fire in Berekum, the Fulani chiefs across Ghana present here, the chief imam of Berekum, my wonderful friend, Sheikh Alhaji Wahab. You should forgive me, I don't know the names across. And also the president of Ruga in Ghana, Ruga Budo. Also, all the chiefs of Fulani'S present here, the traditional chiefs present here, the political leaders that are here, and in our midst we have a representative from the office of the second lady in the name of Alhaji Hama Suley, and the executives, regional and national, of Tabita Kulaku International Ghana chapter, and we are here with the director of election, my senior brother Alhaji Haruna Jallo, and all protocols observed. You should forgive me, the time has really gone, and with all the permission of the leadership that are here, I consider it an honor to be invited to be part of this important occasion for choosing a Ruga in Berekum and in Ghana, which is very critical to the success of Rugabe in the continent, most especially in Berekum, considering our situation as a people, the identity and enskinning an individual among ourselves as a Ruga gives us a singular scene of direction, unity, identification, cohesion, and the powerful tool for dialogue and negotiation with both the governments and the traditional rulers. Mr. Chairman, let me use this opportunity on behalf of Tabita Kulaku leadership to thank the National Council of Rugabe for their continuous drive in finding solutions to the numerous problems confronting the herdsmen in Ghana. I think we have to do one thing. If we say a Ruga, who is a Ruga? The Ruga is a Fulani word. It means the leader of all herdsmen. So today we are enskinning a leader of the herdsmen across the Berekum community. You see me using Ruga. Maybe somebody will not understand whether it is somebody's name. It's an association that has been formed. Mr. Chairman, let me inform and remind and call on all of us gathered here to support our newly enskinned Ruga. My humble appeal to the new Ruga is to take the needed steps as soon as possible to unite his people and support the vision of the National Council of Rugas and other leadership of the Fulani communities in Berekum and beyond. This is very, very critical. This is my third visit in Berekum among the Fulani communities. So I'm asking the leadership of Fulani'S in Berekum, after this enskinment, they should come together as one people. They should unite. I know why I'm talking this. They should be united. They should not be divided. I think with unity we stand, divided we fall. It is important to mention that education remains the silent way to eradicate poverty and ignorance among our teeming youth. Let us all make conscious efforts to give our children the best quality education that they deserve to enable them to uphold leadership positions in the near future. This, when done, will give us, we the Fulani, the power for negotiation with the government and developing issues when the needs arises. It's very, very important. All our setback as people, as Fulani's, is lack of education. So I'm summarizing this news and scheme Ruga to put education as a full weapon of his achievement. When we all get educated, I think there are certain challenges that we may not be facing. Or even if it comes, we know how best we can solve it. But if they say Fulani, a lot of people don't know Fulani. You see somebody, oh, you're Fulani. If they say a Fulani, it's a tribe. It's not a name of individual. So I want to give us a simple scenario about this. There is something that is very disturbing. That is, we have decided to ignore the lessons of history, or we forget it, or deliberately ignore it. But there is a saying that goes that if you leave your history, then you forget where you're coming from. And if you leave your history, you will not know where you are. And you leave your history, you will never have the direction that you are going. I visited the final resting grounds of our ancestors some fortnight ago at the military cemetery in Osu in Accra. I'm bringing this because of our divisional commander. Some people will say, oh, you're Fulani, no, you're Ghanaian. He's a Fulani, he's just a Fulani man. He's not a citizen of this country. That's why I'm pulling our heads back to know the history, how Fulani's were found in this land. Or how did we find the Zongo communities across this country? Someone will say, the Zongos are foreigners, they are not citizens. So let's go back. That's why my grandfather's grave lies at the Osu Military Cemetery. I visited him every year to pray and to protect the facility. Osu Cemetery. Those lying down there from 1936 after the Second World War. That is when we started the struggle before independence and after independence. Those lying down there are the Zongos and the Nobnes. There's no tribe that you find there apart of the Moshis, the Wangares, the Fulani's, the Zabaromes, the Kados, the Busanges. These are the people who fought and laid their life. Today we are here very peaceful. But these are the same people that their children and grandchildren are being preferred as the second citizens of this country. I think it's unfair on we the Zongo communities. And that's why I started that if you don't know your history, then you don't know where you are coming from. The Fulani's migrated here long before even the white man comes. The Fulani, the Hausas, the Zarmes, some of them were brought in by our colonial masters to form the Captain Clover forces. That's the first security forces that were formed before Gold Coast. So how do you conclude that the Zongos are not citizens of this country? I was born in the barracks. I grew in the barracks. I could count those who are claiming today this land Ghana belongs to them. I can count them. During the colonial time, if you are enlisted into any of the security service, you will speak Hausa. Whether you like it or not, you will speak it. Commander is here. If he can give his testimony, he will confirm what I'm saying. Even our pound, the first currency that when we became independent, when we started using before independence, there is a description of Hausa. Pondaya, Pombiu, Pongoma. Why do you say the houses, the Fulani'S, the Busanges are foreigners? Today, as we sit here, the chief of Zongo of Berekum, he's an ex-corporal Abubakar Ibrahim.
Allahu Akbar.
He served in the Ghana Armed Forces. He started serving during the regiment, Gold Coast Regiment. So today, if ex-corporal Ibrahim, who happens to be the Zongo chief today, his children and grandchildren goes to do a Ghana card, and you tell that children or his grandchildren that they are not Ghanaian, are you be fair to that person? Mr. Chairman, we cannot, as a nation, underestimate the enormous blessings of tolerance, friendship, peaceful coexistence, and conducive atmosphere of peace in our country. Ghana has long been an exemplary beacon of hope since independence, and still exhibits true leadership on the international front, making it enviable sovereign state among his peers and beyond. Our constitutional provisions are established to promote peace, unity, stability, and nationalism. Our constitution did not be written that we should come and describe who is a Ghanaian. And it has also been spelled in our provisions who a Ghanaian is. So anybody who said somebody can be a Ghanaian by its tribe, or the language you speak, or your dresses that you dress, that person does not read the Constitution. Mr. Chairman, how on earth can a Zongo tribe, how on earth can a Zongo tribe be denied a right to acquire any national Ghanaian document, such as the Ghana passport and the ECOWAS identity, that is the Ghana card, on the questionable excuse that the person does not speak Chi, Ga, Ewe, or Dagbani? Who told you that?
Voter ID.
Yes. To obtain a Ghana card, do I have to speak Chi before I get it? Or do I have to speak Ga to be a Ghanaian? Do I have to speak Ewe before I become a Ghanaian? Our provisions have not proved that. Mr. Chairman, even as a member nation under the United Nations Convention established in 2030, the Sustainable Development in 2013, we are reminded always to condemn racism and discrimination. Are we doing that in Ghana today? No. We are the signatories of the United Nations Convention of War Against Racism and Discrimination. But this is where some of us are being discriminated to the extent today, as I speak. As I earlier said, the first enlistment that was made in Gold Coast was fully the Northerners and the West African country citizens. That is the Hauses, the Fulani'S, the Zarumes, the Mushis, the Busanges, the Dagatis, the Wales, the Wangares. But today, if enlistment is not going to be taken on, if you are a Zongo man, don't near them. They will tell you you're Zongo. You don't have to be in a uniform. Forgetting that person you are denying this enlistment today, he built the security service since 1879 when the first security forces was formed. His grandfather is part of it. But today, you are denying their grandchildren not to be enlisted in Ghana police or Ghana army. The discrimination must stop. We did discrimination up to our national levels. Today, our national team, the Black Star. If we have a match between Ghana and Togo today, we are struggling. Because we put tribalism in the selection of our national team. I think my fathers are here. If you remember, during the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, if they say Blaster, somebody will be here and do the selection. The Baba Yares, the Salisus, the Mohammed Polus, Anas Deta, Abdul Razak. These are those who fight and raise the flag of Ghana. But today, when you are going, if you can play like anybody, and you happen to be a Zongo person, if your father did not pull out his pocket, you will not be taken on.
Thank you.
Please, let's look about this discrimination. We are all one people, one nation, and one destiny. Thank you very much.